Honestly, just don't waste your money. G'day guys. So in this video today we're going to be talking about the ARB intensity light bar. So this isn't actually my light bar, it's a friend of mine, Misha. He came up to the Kimberley with me, and at that stage I only had one little light bar on the car, and he was like, oh, let's just chuck my LED light bar on there and we'll use that for the trip. Bit of fine tuning. Oh, Misha! Oh no! Where did that go?
It went down that hole.
Just fine tuning the LED light that we just took off Misha's car, because obviously it's the first time we're using it. Then he flew off to Canada for 3 months, so I've kind of just kept it for the moment. But anyway, in this video I'm just going to be letting you guys know what I think about it after having it on the car for 3 months, and would I buy one myself. So let's get stuck into it. So I just want to start by saying that I am generally, I'd say, quite the ARB fan. I reckon they make a lot of good products. A lot of R&D goes into their products, so you're generally buying quite good quality products. So by no means saying that they suck as a company, but I don't know, this light bar just didn't do it for me, eh? So for starters, let's talk about the mount design. So there's actually, I think, just only 2 options with mounting this LED bar. So there's 2 different sets of brackets. There's this bracket here, and then there's ones that you can buy which are just, you know, standard, so that you can bolt it down to your bull bar and your roof rack. So this one's just designed to wrap around the ARB bull bar or any bull bar of a similar thickness tube. And I gotta say, it's a very sturdy design. Like, I've done the Gibb River Road on this one, I've been to the Northern Territory with it. This thing has never budged, so these mounts are rock solid. So gotta say, that's one awesome thing about them. Now another thing that's cool about them is the amp draw. What amp draw? Like seriously, they take like 8 amps. Which for a light that puts out this much power, 8 amps, is like nothing, hey. So that's another really cool thing about them. Another cool thing about these lights is this one. This is the Spot. So there's 2 lights available. There's a combo and there's a Spot. So this one just gives you a really good distance, and man, it really lights up the road really far ahead, like you can see for miles. So these mounts, they're really clever. Like the way they are designed, I don't even know how you'd like steal it, because with a lock nut there, there's just no way this bad boy's coming off. And then the other mounts, from what I understand, you just end up with a bolt protruding out this way, so you can just stick it into your bull bar or on your roof rack or wherever you want to mount it. So it's pretty cool that you got different options there as well. So another thing, obviously it's a personal preference, but I really like the look of it when it's just sitting there. It just looks really streamlined and just kind of matches your bull bar and just looks mint, I reckon, especially with the red. You know, red's a pretty good colour. My favourite, as you can probably tell. Alrighty, so let's kind of get into the cons and what I don't like about this light too much. So straight off the bat, you got to think about the price. So I just had a look at the ARB price list, and for this light you're looking at $880. Now that doesn't include a mount, so you virtually end up with a light and no way to mount it. So then if you buy a mount kit, that can add $100 to $150 onto the price. So for this baby here, you're looking at $1,000. So for $1,000, you'd kind of want just the most amazing light in the world, if you ask me. You spent the money, you fork out, you want it to perform. And boy does it perform, but I almost feel like it performs too well. Because personally, I find that this light, the Kelvin, the temperature of the light is just so white that when you're doing long country drives, I feel like it really fatigues you. Because on the way down here, I'm just down south at the moment, I drove 2 hours with this bad boy on, and then I switched over to some halogen spotlights afterwards. And man, I gotta say, the second I changed, the relief was just massive, because with this one, anytime you go past a big sign, like a overtaking lane sign, or even your side markers, if there's a lot of side markers around a floodway, they always just light up. To the point where, like, if you look at your passenger, you pretty much don't need an interior light, because they're so lit up from the reflection, it's just insane. So I just feel like it's too bright, if that makes sense. Now I've had plenty of, I've had a couple of LED lights on my old car, and I much preferred the colour of them, and they were just cheap ones. Like, it was a cheap $200 LED light bar, and I much preferred it over this one personally. So I don't know if it's really worth the money, Because for $1,000 you'd want an epic light, and it is an epic light, but it's just mind-blowingly white and bright. So I don't know. Another thing that's a little bit annoying is you've got this protective cover here, and at night, if you've actually got it mounted on your bull bar, all this white, because it's a clear polycarbonate, it actually lights up. So it's just another thing that kind of shines back in your eyes as well. So that's another irritating thing about it. I mean, you can take it off, and they also do have different covers. So I don't know if you got like a yellow cover or a different color cover, whether it would be a bit better as far as the temperature of the color. I don't know, I haven't been able to test that. But yeah, that's just my personal opinion of them. So you might be wondering, what's my solution? What's a good light out there? Well, I'll show you guys what I've chucked on the car at the moment. Well, actually, I might just put this one away because I'm not using that thing anymore. Alright, so these are the Fyrlyts. So the other night when I was driving along and I turned off the ARB intensity light bar and started using these, the difference was just like bam, like it was so much warmer and just easier to see everything. The colors were a lot better. Everything wasn't so washed out as with the ARB light bar, and there was a little bit less glare. So admittedly, when you're using high power lights, there's going to be glare, but it wasn't such a in your face kind of glare. It was much more bearable. So would I buy the ARB light bar? Personally, I'd say don't waste your money. But you know, everybody's got different ideas on things. Maybe if the ARB light bar was mounted on the bull bar or on the roof rack, there'd be less glare. I don't know. But personally, it was just too bright, too much glare, and the white was just too white. Like, if you have any smoke or fog across the road, just forget it, because it just lights up everything and you can see nothing. So, I'll be curious to see how these goes. I've only had them for a week now. And yeah, but so far, I really like these. So, see how they go long term. But anyway, that's my review of the ARB intensity light bar. So, hopefully it helps you guys make up your mind if you actually want one or not, but personally, I'd just go a cheaper light bar because they still almost last as long. We've never had one break in our group of friends, so yeah. Anyway guys, catch you next video. I am gonna miss it though because it just looks so cool on the bull bar, like, but I'm not gonna spend $1,000 just for it to look cool.